I'm your host, Alexis K. Tyler. I'm going to get started because I don't know how much time that I have, or if they're going to try to shut me down or freeze me again. I had to tell you this. Oh my God. It's so important to me. I'm titling this reading, Aktcelebrityreads, Kingnipseyhussle. You're not going to believe this. Crenshaw and the Black Dahlia, which would be also known as Elizabeth Short. She was murdered and tortured and cut in half in the Crenshaw district, also near Lamert Park. In January, they said she died between January 9th and January 15th, 1947. Her body was found January 15th, 1947, when a lady was walking with her child to go to get her shoes repaired. And this is what you call the Crenshaw district. The Black Dahlia found Nipsey in California because they've both been hanging in the Crenshaw area, and they've been hanging around the set of railroad tracks. Old tracks and new tracks that are in front of the marathon and near the marathon, where they wanted to definitely take his property, and he was holding up contracts because he didn't want to give up his property, and move tracks through there. They're both looking at the tracks. The Black Dahlia had moved to LA because she wanted to be a star, and she wanted to be in Hollywood in the 40s. And so she's still roaming around because she was murdered and did not get justice. Will you all please click like on my video and subscribe and put comments, because I love it that you love and support me. So the Black Dahlia was talking to Nipsey, telling him her problem, and she was murdered. And they're this is absolutely amazing to me, that they both were murdered and tortured and washed and drained of blood right there in the Crenshaw area. Someone, and I already know why she wanted to come with Nipsey and hang out here. She's been here about 2 weeks now in my house, the Black Dahlia. You can look and you think I'm lying. I cannot make this shit up for a special AKT celebrity read as a psychic medium. Of course, these readings for entertainment purposes only. I hear those that are so-called physically dead yet still alive, yet come between here on the other side and come back and forth and share. The Black Dahlia has been hanging here with Nipsey for over a week now when they started telling me about the murders coming up in the park. The Black Dahlia was tortured, drained of blood, washed, cut up, cut in the face from side to side, which they call the Glasgow smile, which would look like the Joker from Batman. See, Batman, you know, Nipsey loves Batman. That's also ties into here in the jokes and the tricks. From ear to ear, all across, slashed across the face, disfigured in the face. Who also looked like that was done to them? Kidnapped, beaten, tortured, drained of blood, and washed. Nipseyhussle. Ermias Joseph Ashkadam, where? Same location, Crenshaw, at the marathon, then laid out in front of the marathon, body totally clean, no bullet wounds, no bullet holes in the clothes, no blood, looking like a mannequin dangling, looking like a rubbery, swollen mannequin. It did not look like him. Yep, she was. That was a big case in LA back then. Okay. And why she wanted to come, hang on and talk about that. The white lady in Piedmont Park. She was talking about the deaths in the parks, but also the white lady in Piedmont Park. What's her name? Kathleen Janice, 40. Her and her dog Bowie, I think it's a pit bull, was found between 10th Street and Charles Allen Drive, last week or last Wednesday at Piedmont Park. The Black Dahlia wanted to come and talk about her because she told me this also tied into the same way she was murdered. There was a medical doctor that was a very prominent medical doctor in Hollywood and had all of the big stars and celebrities that would hang out at his incredible mansion and his pool. He was married and had a couple of children. One of the sons is speaking out now. One of the daughters said that her father was having sex with her and let his friends have sex with her. Hollywood Entertainment. Both of them are dead. You can look it up. Piedmont Park. Said that not only was her father this very prominent Hollywood doctor to the stars, he was not a practicing surgeon, but in medical school he was so good at surgery. I don't know if he did surgery through his interns. They know the way the Black Dahlia was found murdered. She was cut, her legs were spread from the waist. She was totally cut in half. And the way she was cut in half, pale, all the blood drained out, totally clean. They knew this had to be a med student or a medical doctor and a surgeon that did this to the Black Dahlia. And then washed up. Somebody spent time with her. She told me she was in the house and she was in the water. Well, for some reason, she's saying the same thing about the lady that was found in Piedmont Park. That somebody, this was personal, she was cornered and trapped, like bound. I haven't, I don't know if I'm going to come back on this and spend more time. I just want to say it while I had the time because it was so weird how her and Nipsey's lives intersected and they're both hanging out and they come right here, they're in my house. She said someone in medicine, someone that is trained to cut human bodies and dissect and knows anatomy and physiology. It wasn't some kid playing with her that cut her. This is someone she knew, and it was male. But for some reason, it's something I don't understand. I haven't spent a lot of time with this. It looks like this lady was in a lesbian relationship, but it was also somebody was cheating. So either this lady that was killed in Piedmont Park had a female lover and she was also cheating or sneaking out and had another lover or a male lover, or her lover, the one that was murdered and then dumped in Piedmont Park, was with her in a lesbian relationship and then had a new love relationship with a man. There's a she's a lesbian. Either her or her female lover was seeing a man, or maybe they had an agreement where they were together as two women, but sometimes they would let a man come in the relationship, but it looks like one of them was definitely cheating. The one who was stabbed and mutilated and drained and dumped in Piedmont Park, or her female lover had a lover, because that's what I'm seeing. This was a new agreement, a new beginning and an understanding, and for some reason a male is tied to this murder. It shows a three-way relationship here, and there's heartbreak in this relationship. There were three people in this relationship. This woman looked like a woman and a man. One of these women was sneaking or betraying the other woman. See, I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting that the person that, and then it also shows two groups of people fighting. So, I don't know, I think they said this, I might have seen it, correct me if I'm wrong, this lady works in a club. I don't know if she had any conflict with the club, anybody inside the club, as well as a separate group, or something was going on within her relationship, in her home, in her family, around friends. Because it was like she was, as well as working on a new project. I don't know if this project was in the club she's in, or they were moving to another club, or building one, or she wanted to branch out and start a business on her own, and this was a heavy burden because it looked like there had been legal issues with this before. One of these women is very aggressive, an older woman, very vindictive and angry, and there had been two-facedness and cheating in the camp. One of these women was not faithful to the other woman. That's what I'm understanding. One of these women was cheating and lying to the other one, because it keeps showing there was also alcohol and drugs, sexual deviancy involved in this relationship, and now somebody trying to turn their back and walk away and pull away from this situation. But I also see somebody was drunk and drinking, and then it's like somebody performed surgery on this lady's body, and this lady was bleeding. It's like the lady, and there was a lot of grief and remorse, but somebody divorcing themselves. Someone was she having a problem with her lover or somebody on the outside of her and the main lover? I wonder what in the hell was going on with this woman and her personal relationship, her sexual relationship, because this is also connected to her lover. I hate to say, I'm not accusing the lover of doing it. Yeah, I will put, because they had closed my Cash App, so I will put my PayPal, and I have Zelle. I have PayPal and I have Zelle. I put the links on several videos. But I'll do it when I finish with this tonight, because I don't have anybody to put in here for me. I don't know anybody that's in here that will put it here for me. So I'll put the links on my description, because I can't keep putting it in through all the comments. So it'll be in the description. Because like I said, I'm not going to do these things that I'm doing. Nipsey wants me to make these public. Other things I'm going to do in classes and lectures, they will not be on here. I don't want to stay on YouTube too long. I don't want to stay on Facebook. I just come here and put these things here that Nipsey tells me to tell so people can verify the things that I'm saying and not saying, oh, you're lying, you didn't say that. No, I'm putting certain things here that are public that I want to be public. Okay, the lover, I keep looking, and I haven't, this lady was forced or lured into a position to be murdered and literally drained, and her lover, somebody that knows this lady knew about what was happening to this lady. Oh boy. I mean, the lady saying it and the Black Dahlia saying it that she knew. Because it's like the Black Dahlia knew her killer. The Black Dahlia knew the doctor that was a Hollywood doctor and that was heavy into the occult. The Black Dahlia had met the doctor before, knew the doctor. He found the Black Dahlia attractive, so he couldn't say he didn't know her. And when they started doing an investigation, the doctor is so powerful, and the LAPD, peep this, the LAPD was tied into the Black Dahlia's murder and covering up information. The LAPD and some police back then were known to be drunks and corrupts and very dishonest, and they were paid off to leave the doctor alone, to not press charges, and to move away from an investigation against this very powerful doctor in Hollywood that they knew had murdered the Black Dahlia. And some detectives that were not with it, with the LAPD, they broke into the doctor's house, put a recording in there, heard the doctor say, "What if I did it? There's nobody that can prove I did it, and my secretary that knows what I do and my behavior is dead." His secretary that would be a part of these parties and that would know about the occult activity he was involved in, mysteriously, they said, had a drug overdose. I'm sure he did it, because they're not saying there was no evidence that his secretary was a drug addict. And this prominent doctor got away with it and was never charged and lived a long life, lived until he was like in his early 90s. And then that's the weird thing about 5 Points, bringing it back around to 5 Points again, because where she was found, and when you is connected, you can easily get there through the 5 Point directions, and the 5 Points area, Forsyth Street, Alabama, Underground, Atlanta, Vine City, where the Mercedes Stadium and where the Falcons play, all that area is around 5 Points, is where they used to take slaves and sell black slaves. And there was a train track that ran through there, and also near the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. That was where the slaves and the Confederate slaves and Confederate soldiers, Union soldiers, would go and escort the slaves and have the two auction blocks downtown Atlanta and intersecting with 5 Point. You know, I used to hang out down there when I didn't know no better, right? I thought it was exciting because I had such a closed, abusive childhood. I really didn't have friends or boyfriends or date or anything like that in high school. Never had sex or anything like that in high school. So when I would get to go to my grandma's house, sometimes I would get to hang out, sometimes like catch the bus. It was so fun just to catch the bus. It is very dangerous, if you know, like in those areas of black people don't know their history. We weren't taught this stuff in school. You see a lot of black people congregating in those areas. And you notice a lot of stuff happens to them. And it's also controlled by Martyr Police, City of Atlanta Police, and they do a lot of shady shit. A lot of black people do a lot of shady shit, and they hang down there. They don't even understand. It's very dangerous to hang on slave spots where people were beaten, murdered, and sold like animals and moved around. All those areas, I see them. All the blacks, all the Native Americans, and the people of Latin descent, Mayan, Egyptian descent, are raising up out of the ground in Atlanta at the 5 Points, raising up out of the water, raising up out of the graves right now, raising up out of the parks, and they are talking, and it's like a fire type of energy, a ravaging fire warrior type of energy, where the dead, the physically dead, but yet spiritually alive and soul still alive, are merging with people that hang in this area that has any type of DNA inside it. I don't care if it's considered a white person. I don't care if you're a biracial person. Those entities, and you're hanging in those areas and you're doing activities in those areas, they're going to interweave with you. And it goes also, like I said, to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium that's on the top of dead people, physically dead people that were sacrificed and slaved down there, and the blood is still in the ground. For some reason, they're waking up, just like the Black Dahlia woke up in Crenshaw when Nipsey be hanging out there looking at his property and still grieving and still very sad because we're coming up on another birthday. He's not physically here where his physical life was taken. Those two, along with other people in Hollywood and in the Crenshaw district, where it wasn't named Crenshaw district, where they like to regentrify and tear stuff down like they're doing right now and act like it's never happened and don't tell you the history, but the history's still in the books. It's on the archive. It's in City Hall. It's in the real estate division. All this stuff is written down. All these old maps are written down. What I was also going to, the 1884 Sanborn Fire Insurance maps of Georgia. They have those in every state. They have those in California, and they go over those. They have insurance on the slaves, insurance on the people, insurance on the properties there, and sacrifice. All of these people. So they told me, and the Black Dahlia told me, the same people connected to her murder are here in Atlanta right now. Here in Atlantis, waking up the demon. Having sacrificial lambs to get ready, which would be the music industry, the entertainment industry, the television industry, the modeling industry, anything associated with entertainment. You have to pay your dues. And in order for you to pay your dues, you have to kill someone. You have to do a human sacrifice on someone. It's usually someone they choose and bring in. And she said, the Black Dahlia, her spirit is not at peace. It's not resting, because she said she was at a party and her body, along with the body of other individuals, something said this man, this surgeon, treated women like dogs and cattle. I mean, even he had sex with his own daughter, and then told the other famous actors and people in entertainment they could come and have sex with his daughter. And he was married to a woman, and the woman would let this stuff go on, I guess, for the money, the wealth, the fame, and the fortune. This same surgeon that killed the Black Dahlia, she was saying it wasn't just a killing, it was a ritualistic killing for this man to have power in the occult, and also had power in entertainment. All of the high-level actors, actresses, and producers would come hang at this doctor's house, and they would have different women there for them to use, abuse, have sex with, and then do sacrifice, human sacrifice, on these women. For some reason, it looks like there is a female involved with this lady's murder, Kathleen Janice, that was found at Piedmont Park, and this lady was being spied on and stalked before she was murdered, and the murder was vicious, and the murder was over and over and over. An overkill. For some reason, I see her like this. Somebody push her head back with her eyes going back like she was in a water, like she was wet up and there was a male. But something about this male seems, I don't know, this guy comes off maybe kind of like hard to get to, maybe like a loner, but very brainy, very intelligent, but gets very frustrated. He's not a very old man that did this. Gets very agitated, in some ways immature, but very emotional, and will act very fast without thinking. But there's also a deep insecurity and a lot of rage, and acted towards this lady. But there's also, oh God, I mean, I could be interpreting this wrong. I don't know if I'm going to spend a lot of time on this. I don't know if I'm going to come back and do this. I just want to drop it now because I could not believe the connection and where they were both in the same place. Nipsey and her know each other, and she came to Nipsey, and they both were right there on Crenshaw near Leimert Park. Absolutely amazing to me. But such a big gap of time. But this lady is still alive, physically alive, and wants justice. But this man got away with it, and this man is physically dead, but yet suffering on the other side, and was protected by demons, and had his files and his reputation protected by demons, because the people that he dealt with, all the famous people in entertainment, helped to do the rituals at the house, do the murders. They watched the murders, and then covered these things. Thank you, Nietzsche. Socially awkward man. That's very good, but yet brainy and stalking and watching someone. But then there's a female that helped set this up. There are a lot of hidden things about this murder, and a lot of lies and deception in this murder. And I do see law enforcement in this. And I wonder, are there any children in this? They didn't say that she had any. I know that she's a lesbian, but I don't know if there are any children close to her, nieces, nephews, if she didn't have any of her own, that kind of turned their back, trying to move away from this and showing the water. So this lady looked like she might have been, somebody spent time with this lady. They spent time with her body, literally looking at their handiwork of what they'd done to this lady, and cleaning this lady and talking to this lady. And they took their time before they dropped her off. So you know what? That really makes me wonder, did they sit with this lady or hold her a few hours, or maybe a half of a night, a few hours, just holding this lady, working on her, doing what they want to do, looking at her, touching her, talking to her, before they dropped her off down there and posed her at Piedmont Park. It's a group arguing and fighting about this right now, and legal issues around it, and possible lawsuits around this. This lady went to a crossroads that's down by Piedmont Park, but she has not crossed over to the other side. She's at a crossroad, and she's like, I can't. She's still trying to process this. I can't believe what happened to me. And she keeps talking about somebody like a child. So I'm wondering, did she see the dog like a child? Or was there some children in her life that were close to her? Makes me wonder, who has a child, who's pregnant with a child? There's a lot of deception and secrets in this. And the magician, there was an argument first. And this lady has head damage. had hit. This had been previous fights. I hate to say that. From what I'm seeing, there are previous fights. And this is not something that just happened. It's male and females involved in this. And then the male is the one that took it upon himself to go forward and execute this. But for some reason, it's more than one male that I'm seeing involved, and the woman's not talking. The woman that's also an empath and a spiritualist is not talking. It's also money. So I wonder, somebody gonna get some money behind this? Is somebody gonna, who's handling her insurance, and a male gonna get money? This is so sad. I didn't want to report on this, and it was like it hit her so fast. Or this lady has money or had money. She's seen as one that has money, or maybe her lover also too has money. One of these women is considered sexually. This is a three-way relationship. And one of these is now trying to hide and pull away. This is a three-way relationship. And when they got her and hit her very violently, this lady was in a car. They put this lady in a car. I kind of don't want to continue with this because it's so gruesome. And some of the similarities here are like the other young lady, the 18-year-old that was found in the park last week, Tory Lange. Some of those people know her directly, some of them don't know her, and some of them know her indirectly. And there were males and females involved in that. And people, no, I wouldn't say there's a killer in Atlanta right now. See, that's not how it works. There are several killers moving in different directions. All of them don't know each other. All of them don't work together, and some of them are different races. That's what I'm seeing. All of them don't work together. It's not one person that is terrorizing the whole state. You saying, yes, Skinny? You said it's crazy. You say that because they had life insurance specifically, but dismembered back then. I'm also talking about life insurance now. There are different types of insurances, and there were insurances on slaves and human beings. Well, just talking, I mean, we know slaves were killed and raped and maimed and disfigured. We know that. I'm not getting all into that. It take too much time. I'm probably not going to visit with this much after this. I don't have time. Again, I'm really surprised that this came up and Nipsey brought her here. But the Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short, wanted to be here. Very striking, beautiful, and you have to look at it too. I think she was only like 22 years old, which would be a 4, which would be Aleister Crowley, the number 4 that a lot of entertainers do everything by 4. That's one of the very powerful numbers when you're dealing with magic and Aleister Crowley, the number 4. And we know this is what this with the doctor that murdered her, and his son is even saying he knows that doctor murdered her. The doctor's dealing with the occult, just like we see a lot of entertainers down here right now dealing with the occult and doing the ritual. So everybody that's hanging out and doing things, you need to watch where you're going and any concerts you're going to. And if you're going in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or if you're going to any celebrity concerts, because what you need to know is that those celebrities, whenever they do a concert and whenever they hang at, there are particular spirits that are soul snatchers that they have to pay for their fame and fortune. So if you see them and you admire them and you come to where they are, you're basically opening yourself up to be picked. If you're one of the ones that the spirits want for a sacrifice, then they'll follow you home. And they'll start following you around every time you listen to that person on the radio, you hang out where that person's hanging at, go to their shows, you sing all of their songs, then you are opening yourself up as payment for the soul of the person that gets the favors. And then I saw Donda West walking over there on the campus over there with Spellman and Morehouse. She's hanging out over there talking to people. Kanye West's mama is down here in Atlanta. She followed him down here, or he called her down here. She said that the plastic surgeon did not kill her. The plastic surgeon was a fall guy. Oh, I'm getting chills all over. She said he did not kill me. They set it up to make it look like he did it, but he did not. He was a fall guy. She said that was in one of her son's contract. Okay. What you have to do is, because mysteriously when Donda West came in here and asked me to do a reading on her, my reading disappeared off of Facebook and it disappeared off of YouTube, and I didn't take it off. Somebody else higher up took my video off where she was talking about her son. All I'm going to say is this. When his mama died, physically died, just look at who he was working with, because I don't know all the people he was working with and who he was under contract with, okay? If you look at whatever contract he was under when that happened to his mother, I don't care if the mother had a heart problem. That's really not what killed the mother. Even though she had the pre-existing problem, there were certain agreements that Kanye had when you sign contracts. And once you sign it, even if you might not want that to happen, those demons have the right to move through your family or whoever you with and take who they like. Take who they want, and they don't have to ask you, because that's a part of the agreement. And I'm not saying that you always know, because you don't. I know firsthand from it happening to me, and almost walking into that until the demon explained to me what was going on and said, "This is what's going to happen to you." And I'm like, no, that's okay. That's okay. Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I didn't take the video down. I don't know what happened to it. But Donda is walking around Atlanta because her son summoned her to channel her energy and to call certain ancestors and certain spirits in Atlanta/Atlantis. So whenever you see a celebrity like that and then they sign a contract and their mother falls dead, their grandmother falls dead, their daddy falls dead, their babies fall dead, sometimes they don't do it. But yet you did it indirectly because you did an agreement with someone or some entity that's on the person that wants a particular person on you or around you. And they'll take them. They have the right to take them. Even though they don't have the right to take them, they have the right to take them because you signed the agreement and you're getting the fame and fortune inside of that world. You can't play with their toys and run with the big boys unless you do what they tell you to do. Even if you don't directly, you're going to do what they tell you to do until they get tired of you, or you get tired of them, or you run your course, and if you're not ready to go to the next level, then the same thing will happen to you. Or they'll see you kill yourself. Okay? Because many people can't take it when they don't have that level of fame and fortune, and the demons are not blessing them anymore. Okay? And they don't want to play the game. Or just the time is up. And eventually, it depends on who you are and the energy that you carry. One day, everybody's time will be up. But in order for you to get to those levels like that, you're going to have some dirt on you. You're going to have to participate and do something. And if you don't, you won't make it in there. And you'll get blackballed. They wouldn't even let me. You see what I'm saying? YouTube won't let me monetize my videos. They won't let me have super chat. And they're saying because I curse, but I see a whole bunch of other people that curse as bad or worse than me, and they let them monetize. But they won't let me. They've never let me be monetized. I mean, you already know. Don't ask me about celebrities. I just told you. Anytime you get into multi-millions of dollars and you're traveling all around the world, you sign contracts and you have agreed to some type of deal or circumstances where you are inside of that club and you will get the benefits of that club. I have frozen again. I see the chat moving, but my face is frozen. I'm sorry. I don't know why, but whenever it freezes like that, I don't want to continue to sit on here and talk because I'm lighting the sage and I'm giving Nipsey the energy and I'm raising the frequency of it. So that's why I wanted to start early in case it does that. You know, maybe I can regroup it and come back later. But if that's possible, it can be hot, but it's not always that because I can be doing it and no, I just touched it. It's not really hot because I don't have the sage up very close and I just started to light the sage. So, yeah, I'm going to go. And if I can get it to calm down or come back, I will. I talk to you soon. I love y'all.